YouTube, Mellow Automatic. So, I know this is late. I want to apologise again. It should have been last week, but this is the third time I'm trying to record this video. But we are now finally here for the final part of the Set 8 early lists. And this time we have got 5 lists for you, and that's the 5 Craycross Epic lines. So, because there's so much to do, let's just get diving straight in. And we're going to start off with Tamayura. So, just as a quick reminder, we have on what Tamayura does. Tamayura's got 2 different skills. Her first one is, during your ride phase, she gains the skill of your front row gains 5,000 power. Second skill is, when she attacks, Count Blast 1, you can choose one of the 2 following options. Choose 1 card from your soul and call it to rearguard circle. Second skill is choose a Rurimi and a Rarimi from your soul and call them 2 separate rearguard circles. Obviously, and then she's also got the ability of Glitter, but that's just there for certain other cards. So she is up the multi-attack of the deck. She gives a generic buff to your front row to help hit over the 13k base if you're swinging with 10ks. So really nice generic base card. So moving on to the first of the 2 new cards, we have got Ladies and Gentlemen Rarimi. So Rarimi's got the skill of Auto. When this unit is placed in the drop zone from your soul during your turn, you can Counter Blast 1 to call this card to your back row in the same column as a Rurimi card in your front row. So basically, you need a Rurimi in your front row, you Counter Blast 1, she then calls behind that Rurimi. And second skill is the Tamayura lock skill for the Missers. And got the skill of, at the end of the battle this unit boosted, put all of your rear guards in the same column as this unit to your soul. If you put a unit with Rurimi in its card name in your soul with this effect, choose one of your units that gets 5,000 power to end the turn. So I do want to stress that the Glitter skill is actually a mandatory skill, so you can't choose to not put them in the soul, you have to do it no matter what. But this is really nice for the fact that you can then put these to soul, and you're then not calling over a column when you're then attacking with Tamayura, which is really nice. Plus you get the bonus effect of giving 5,000 power till end of turn for another unit. When you do this, if you've boosted a Rurimi, which is nice because obviously with this being Rarimi, boosting a Rurimi gets your Rarimi in soul for your Tamayura skill. And you're then giving 5k to your other column, which you can then swing with that, then swing with the Tamayura, and then carry on comboing. Plus the first skill goes nicely with the fact obviously Rurimi has a Soul Blast 2 skill for when on placed. So you can Soul Blast out the Rarimi to then Counter Blast and bring it back. So the synergy is really there between the cards, which is really nice. But we can't have a new Rarimi without having a new Rurimi. So one we've got is It's Showtime Rurimi. So Rurimi's got the same first skill of when this unit is placed in your drop zone from your soul during your turn, you can Counter Blast 1 and call it into the back row in the same column as a front row unit with Rarimi in its card name. So it's literally the exact same as the other doll, but just flipped over for Rurimi needing a Rarimi in the front row. And then second skill is the Glitter Tamayura, and that is Auto Rearguard Circle. At the end of the battle this unit boosted, if this same column, put all the units in this column into your soul. If you put a card with Rarimi in your soul with this effect, and you have not countercharged this turn, you can then Soul Blast 1 to countercharge 1. So what this does is this actually provides countercharge into Tamayura. So obviously you're gaining counterblasts in the deck due to the fact that the new Rarimi both cost an additional counterblast, turning you from a 1 CB a turn to 3 CB a turn. But this is a nice little bit of you're refunding one of those CBs. So again, like with the Ladies and Gentlemen Rarimi, this does help prevent overcalling. Because they're also called Rurimi and Rarimi, you can, instead of making it a 5 attack, if you haven't got the right pressure that you want, you can call the grade 2 Rorowa and the grade 1 Rorowa, or vice versa, and make a column instead. So you're getting, it gives more flexibility into the deck. These are extra targets for broken toys. So really nice stuff. But that's it for the Tamayura stuff. Let's have a look at an actual example list. So as you can see from the example list here, we have literally trimmed all the fat now. It is literally Tamayuras, the dolls, the orders for both Tamayura and the dolls, and then just triggers and perfect guards, along with the Regardless Cup. But let's have an actual quick little bit of discussion, because this is the new order for Tamayura, not the old one. Because obviously, for those that remember, the old one was a Soul Blast 2 to make your opponent lose power during their turn, as a blitz order, so it gave you a defensive power. Well, this one's more of a offensive order, which is really nice. This has got the skill of, if you've got a Vanguard in its with Tamayura in its card name, you can Soul Blast 2 to then choose from your drop zone a card with Rorowa and a card with Rorowa in its card name, and call them to Rearguard Circle. So what this actually does is it lets you Soul Blast the grade 1 dolls to call the grade 2 dolls, and then the grade 1 dolls can then call themselves back. So you're technically doing, when this card is played from hand, Counter Blast 2, call 4 units pretty much, which is really solid, honestly. Yes, it's turned Tamayura into a more offensive deck than a tempo-based deck, so it's going to be interesting to see how it develops, but all in all, it looks really solid. Moving on next, we move on to Mikani and Chaos. So, just a quick reminder of Chaos' skill first. So, Chaos has got the skill of act Vanguard Circle once a turn, you can Count Blast 1, discard a card, look at the top 3 cards, you choose a card from amongst them to add to your hand, you can choose up to 1 card from amongst them and call it to Rearguard Circle, and put the remaining cards into your soul. And his second skill is when he attacks, if you've got 8 or more cards in your soul with different names, choose one of your units and gets power plus 10,000. If you've got 13 or more cards in your soul with different names, all of your units gain power plus, all of your rearguards gain power plus 10,000. So this is really interesting for the fact that obviously the call from the top 3 to the rearguard circle isn't mandatory, so you can add 1 to hand and put 2 to soul, which obviously helps build up for the second skill, because obviously we want as many different names in the deck as possible to then put into the soul, so we then gain the power plus 10k to the entire row. And why is this 10k useful? Well, for that we need to look at the old Mikani as well. So like with the other ones, it's got 2 skills. First one being, when the shoot is placed on rearguard circle, you can Cat Blast 1 and Soul Blast 1. Choose one of your opponent's units, got the same grade as the card you Soul Blast, and retire it. And then his Glitter Chaos skill is also Vanguard Circle once a turn. When your Vanguard with Chaos declares an attack, you can restand this card. And if you do, this card then is placed in your soul at the end of the turn. So this is the multi-attack engine of the deck, but having built-in retire as well, which is really nice. Yes, it is locked to what's your soul blasting, but with how well that Chaos actually builds up his soul, it's so easy to be able to have a variety so you can actually choose what you're wanting to retire. But that was the old Mikani. Let's see what the new Mikani developed into. And this is Go-Ahead Mikani. So this one's new because obviously this Mikani's actually got 3 skills out of it. First one is, when it shoots placed on rearguard circle, you may soul charge 1. Second skill is act rearguard circle. If your Vanguard is grade 3 or greater, you can put this unit into your soul, choose up to 1 grade 3 of Mikani its card name from your soul, and call it to rearguard circle. Then he's got his Glitter skill for Chaos. Whilst he's in your soul, when you're counting names in your soul to see if they are different, all of your go-ahead Mikanis are treated as having different names to other cards. So all 3 of these skills are really nice. First one helps build up for the getting 13 different names in Soul. The second one sets up for your push plays, because obviously Mikani goes into Chaos' Soul at the end of turn, but you then use this one to get the Chaos back out again the following turn. So it's consistent in your getting your 4 to 5 attacks, which is really nice. But then you've got the bonus on top of him saying he's always treated as a different name in Soul, to make Chaos' skill even more consistent, which is really nice. Well, that's enough for Chaos. Let's actually have a look at his list. So, as you can tell from the ginormous image here, we have got a lot of one-offs. Obviously, we are still sticking with the one-off every triggers where we can, due to the sheer fact of it's an extra aid in getting to the 13 in Soul. We still have got good old Quenlu alongside it, just for that extra bit of giving the restanding Mikanis the Cart Guard of grade 1s or higher. So on a Persona Ride turn, we are then forcing 25k into the Vanguard. They're forced to 15k shield, but then the Mikanis are then standing, gaining 10k, and they can't then perfect guard those massive numbers. So the fluidity is really there. We have also got the Chaos Order, just for helping compress our deck, not be a random soul charge. And it's actually digging for extra Chaoses from Soul to Rearguard Circle, which can be either form, not Chaos, it searches for the Mikani from Soul, sorry. So you can actually get either form of Mikani at that point. So what you can actually do is you can get the grade 1 Mikani, call it out, Mikani will then Soul Charge, you can put this one back into Soul to grab the other Mikani, and you've gained a free Soul out of it, which is really solid. All in all, it's an interesting deck. Do want to play around with this a bit more myself, but I'll have to wait and see how it goes. Then next one up on the list is Ever. So I'm going to quickly remind us of what Ever does. Now Ever's got 2 skills of Act Vanguard Circle. Once a turn, you can cap loss 1. And then you look at the top number of cards equals the number of research orders you've got in your order zone. Choose 1 card from amongst them, put the rest at the bottom of your deck in any order, and this unit gets 5,000 power. And our second skill is also Vanguard Circle. When this unit attacks, you can cap loss 1, soul blast 1. To then search your deck for a card with Obstacle Dade in its name and call it to Rearguard Circle. Then you shuffle your deck. So it's hand or deck, but if you search your deck, you shuffle your deck. But it is one thing to note, this is the inclusive or. So if you search your deck, don't find one, you can still call one from hand situation. That is the one thing I do want to stress with this. But Eva got more than just the new Obstacle Dades, which is why we're not going to actually talk about the old Obstacle Dade, because we've got a new order to discuss as well, because she got her own new research. And the research is called The World is a Blue Laboratory. Nice and simple name. When this has got the skill of, you can only play this if your Vanguard is a Eva with the Glitter ability. And it's got the skills of, when this card is placed into your order zone from your hand, not from your hand, it's just in general, sorry. When this card is placed in your order zone, look at the top 5 cards on the top of your deck, choose out to 1 card from amongst them, call to Rearguard, and shuffle your deck. Then we've got the second skill on top of Act Order Zone once a turn. You can Soul Blast 1 and rest 3 of your research cards. Choose one of your card with Seeker, so not Seeker, with Glitter, and it gets power plus 5,000 in turn. So this is really nice for the fact that you can activate the second skill, Soul Blast 1, rest your orders that you're not doing anything with apart from sitting there anyway, giving Obstacle Dade another 5k buff, so it'd be a 28k attacker, just so you hit those magic numbers, which is really nice. First skill as well is really even better for the fact that it's compression on top of the compression the deck already has. Plus also the bonus of, going back to the second skill a second, you can rest your promo order for the grade 1 and then use that into the soul, so you're actually getting 2 uses out of it, which is really beneficial for the deck. Let's go have a look at the new Mikani, the new Obstacle Dade, sorry. And Oscade's got 2 skills. First one being continuous rearguard circle, guardian circle. If you have 3 or more set orders in your order zone, this unit gets power plus 5,000, shield plus 5,000. So this is the 10k shield kept over from the old Oscade, which is really nice. Second skill is the Glitter Ever skill, and it's continuous rearguard circle. If this unit is placed on rearguard circle by your card's ability this turn, and you have 3 or more research orders in your order zone, when this unit attacks, it battles all your opponent's front row units. So, first skill, as I said, brings the shield power up to what the grade 3 Mikani is providing, which is really nice to have. It can still accept, because obviously it's grade 2, but it is restricted on needing 3 or more orders in your set order zone, so it doesn't have the early game shield that the old Mikani did. Not Mikani, Obscurade. I'm getting confused now because there are too many cards. But this is very interesting also for the second effect, because if you call this off of ideally the order instead of Eva herself, you're getting to attack with this first, nuke your opponent's front row, and then swing with Eva and call over this with the old Obscurade. Because if you call this off of Eva herself, you're giving your opponent a chance to intersect, making the second skill of this actually redundant. So it's not an amazing card, but it's still a nice tech option to have within the deck. But let's have a quick look at an Eva example list. So as you can see here, this list is going a little bit differently than what you'd expect. So, as you can see from the list here, we've gained a few other cards from different ride lines. We've gained the Go Ahead Mekanis from the Chaos ride line, because he generates soul, which obviously there's a lot of soul usage now been gained within this deck. But we've also gained Weberos from the Archite line, because Weberos does say if your Vanguard is Archite or Eva, you get to Soul Blast and draw. And both Eva and Archite use research orders, so he does become a 13k booster on top of that, which is really nice to have. We did trim a bit of the countercharging engine with Bobble Mine to fit some of this in. So it might end up that you'll want to swap the draw engine back into the countercharge engine. But because we've gone for the draw engine, we can move off of draws back into fronts again. So obviously, if you do want to go for the countercharge engine over the Mikani Weberos engine, you'll more than likely want to go back to draws just so you've got that extra bit of draw power there. Because yes, you do get the add one to hand every turn from Eva. You do not, that's the only actual advantage you generate. So you do want to still have a bit of draw power with the deck. And next one up on the list is Thegrea. So obviously, Thegrea has 2 different forms. We're going to start off with the light form. And she's got 3 skills. First one is when she's rode on top of Dark Thegrea, it still counts as Persona, right? Second skill is Act Vanguard Circle once a turn. You can Cat Blast 1. Look at top 5 cards. Choose 1 or less. 1 card that's got grade 2 or less and call it to Rearguard Circle. If you've got the Dark Thegrea in your soul, you can choose to call 2 instead. And second skill is also Vanguard Circle. At the end of the battle, this unit attacks. You can discard a card from your hand, choose one of your rear guards, and stand it. So you've got to have Persona Road that turn for that skill. So this is a form of multi-attack, increasing you to 4 attacks by standing like Bastion does. But we don't have a grade restriction for this. Instead, we've got the Persona Road restriction. Plus, we've also got her ability to filter the deck and create more of a board, or just a Count Blast, which is really nice. And because it's not Persona Ride Lock, just having the Dark Thegrea in your soul, you can slide it in with the likes of Drilling Angel. So, really nice combat phase. But we then also have the other side, which is the Dark Thegrea. So, 3 skills again. First one being the same as the Light Thegrea, and when it's rode on top of the Light Thegrea, it still counts as Persona Ride. Second skill is act Vanguard Circle once a turn. Retire 2 of your rear guards. And then choose 2 of your opponent's rear guards and choose 1 of your opponent's rear guards and retire them. But then if you've got Light Thegrea in your soul, you destroy that entire column instead. And then third skill is auto Vanguard Circle once a turn. End of the battle, this unit attacks. If you Persona Road this turn, you can Count Blast 1, discard a card, stand this unit, and it gets Drive -1. So this Thegrea does still have the 4 attacks that the old Thegrea did, but you're swapping the rear guard stand into the Vanguard standing. So nice bit of synergy, and you obviously the fact that you can loop both of these back to your hand every turn due to the old Mothgirl Maple, that you're able to continuously Persona Ride within the deck. But we're not going to be talking about the old Mothgirl Maple. We're here for the new one. And this is Pink Mothgirl Maple. So she's got 2 skills. First one being, also, when your greater or higher Vanguard appears during the ride phase, if it was a Persona Ride and you do not have any Pink Mothgirl Maples on your rearguard circle, you may call this card to rearguard circle. If you call this card, this unit gets power plus 5,000 to the end of the turn. And second skill is the Glitter Thegrea skill. And auto back row rearguard circle. When your unit in the same column as this unit stands, you may stand this unit. If you do, end of the turn, retire this unit. So this combos off even further with both of the Maple skills, both of the Thegrea skills, sorry, because depending on which one you're Persona Riding into, you can choose where to put the Maple. It's either going to be behind your Vanguard if you're Persona Riding into Dark Thegrea, or behind your rearguard if you're then going into the Light Thegrea. So it gives fluidity in the deck, which is really nice to have. And the fact that they've actually reworded the first skill to specifically look for Pink Mothgirl Maple, you can Persona Ride, call out the atrocious Mothgirl Maple, but then call Pink Mothgirl Maple as well. So you're generating 2 units from the board for free, which is really nice. And it gets to be a 13k booster on top, so even more pressure for the deck. But that's enough of those cards. Let's have a look at a Thegrea list. So this is the list we've gone for here. And as you can see, it's your standard run-of-the-mill Thegrea list. We've got our Drilling Angels, we've got our Painkiller Angels. So we can actually manipulate our soul quite nicely and add certain things back to hand where we need to due to the atrocious Mothgirl Maple skill. But obviously having Drilling Angel on top means we're actually adding from soul to drop to soul and then soul to hand with Maple. So you'll actually be able to add perfect guards, triggers, so much you can manipulate that. We have also got the promo Thegrea order in here, which turns Persona Ride into a 15k, and obviously if it's on the board at the time you're doing the Persona Ride, you get to draw 2 instead of drawing 1. The power increase is a generic power increase, so that doesn't need to be in play beforehand, but it's a really nice card nonetheless. And rounding out the ride lines, we are finishing up with Rorowa. So Rorowa himself has got 2 skills. First one being, act Vanguard Circle once a turn. You can Soul Blast 1 to then call 3 plant tokens to rearguard circle. And his second skill is auto Vanguard Circle. When this unit attacks, choose 1 or more of your token cards and retire them. And then this unit gets power plus 5,000 for each token you retired until the end of the battle. So you can see from this, he's calling plant tokens and turning them into shield, all for the customer Soul Blast, which is quite nice. And because he doesn't specify what token he needs to retire to generate the shield, you can retire your Momoke token as well out of it, which is really nice combo playing. But we've, obviously, like with all the others, we have got an upgrade, and this is Flame Sword without hesitation, Radlina. So the new Radlina's got the skill of also Rearguard Circle. At the beginning of your main phase, if you have no Momoke token on Rearguards, call 1 Momoke token to Rearguard. Sorry about that. And the second skill is the Glitter Rorowa skill. And it's got the skill of auto. At the end of the battle, when your unit with Radlina and that card name attacks, if your opponent's Vanguard is grade 3 or greater, you can retire 1 Radlina and 1 Ramoke token. And call this card to Rearguard Circle. And during that turn, increase this unit's power by the power of the Ramoke token retired. So what this does is you're turning your 4 attack into a 5 attack. All for no cost whatsoever outside of just retiring 2 cards. But then you're then power buffing yourself by however big your Momoke token was at the point of retiring. So it does include any buffs from the Momoke token skill and the set order skill, so it does generate quite a nice bit of plus within the deck. And then on top of that, you're then gaining the Momoke token back again next time for free, and she doesn't actually need it to be the grade 2 Radlina you're retiring. So you can retire the grade 3 on the following turn to then get the grade 3 on Radlina. But the reason why it says retire the Momoke token as well is so then you can't continuously keep sacrificing Radlina, Momoke, and go to like 9 attacks, for example. But we did gain more than just that within the set to boost up Rorowa a little bit. We have gained a new order, and it's called To the Shining Stage. So this has got the skill of, if you've got a Vanguard with Rorowa in its card name, you can Soul Blast 1. Then choose from your drop zone a card with the same grade as your Vanguard or lower and call it a Rearguard Circle. And then after that, if you have a Rearguard of Radlina in its card name, you get to call a plant token to Rearguard Circle on top. So with the way this is worded, you can use this to actually call Radlina and then get the plant token on top still, or you can call anything else out, but if you've already got Radlina in play, you're then generating a plant token. So Soul Blast 1 for 2 units is really good in terms of maths. So it's really nice buff to the deck. Well, let's have a quick look at an example list for us, just to round it out. And as you can see here, we have still kept the impulses in the deck, because we do still want that extra bit of digging into our draw power here, and still having the soul building up, because we do need the soul, because it's really more important than ever now to keep spamming the tokens with Rorowa every single turn, that the soul does get drained very quickly. We have still got the old promo Rorowa order from the tournament promos a long while back, just for the fact of its Radlina searching in general, so we can actually utilise this to find our grade 3 Radlina for the 5th attack combo, which is really strong for the deck. Did keep Salvia in the deck for the fact of a free on place generate a plant token, and we can then sack it, the Salvia and the plant token off to Rorowa, to the Momoke token, to generate 10k power. All in all, deck's very interesting. I can't wait to see how it develops. But that is going to be it for the 5 Ridelines. This is now the end of the set 8 stuff, so we will be, because of how late I've been with these, it's not going to be long till we start hitting the set 9 lists. But they're going to be definitely something to look forward to, because I'm very hyped for a lot of the new stuff within that set. But that is going to be the end of this video. If you haven't done so already, please do like and subscribe. It very much does help the channel. And I'll catch you guys in the next video. Bye bye.